This is Jenny Naslund. In this video, I will be talking about how we do math in fourth grade. We're going to start by talking about our math curriculum. We use math expressions, and in math expressions, we cover the following units. We discuss fact fluency, and we talk about multiplication and division word problems. We study quadrilaterals, place value. We discuss angles and polygons, multi-digit multiplication, multi-digit division, patterns and functions, fractions, and decimals. Towards the end of the year, depending on timing, we discuss the metric system, 3D shapes, and customary measurements. Our GATES students go for 1 hour to our GATES teacher, and the GATES teacher will provide your son or daughter with the grade for math. In math, we pride ourselves on personalizing our math curriculum. And what I mean by that is in order to better meet the needs of our diverse learners, our curriculum is divided up so that kids can move at the pace that they need to move at. We use Schoology as a learning management system. It's a website that we use to share resources with our kids. And the kids can move through our different folders in Schoology, where they can access video lessons, online activities, worksheets, hands-on activities when they need them as they're moving throughout the curriculum. While kids are moving through the curriculum on our online platform, we teach the lessons that kids need in small groups, in seminars, with individual instructions, and we use the online tools we have available. Kids will receive instruction in a small group on the lesson that they need that day, every day of math. I'm going to jump now to our Schoology page and show you how that is laid out. All right, this is our math Schoology page, and you can access this Schoology page as a parent by logging in with your Family Access logon information. If you are not sure what that is, you can contact our office and they will be able to connect you with your username and password. Once you log in, you'll be able to click on courses and you'll be able to find your son or daughter's math course. The math page will look like this, and you'll see the different units that we're studying show up as we come to the unit. We're going to jump into the quadrilateral unit here in a second. First, I want you to notice that these are the learning targets that we'll be covering throughout the unit. So these are the skills that we're working on in the unit. Once you go into the folder, you'll notice at the top there's a folder with the personalized learning plan, homework, and remembering. So what's in here is our learning plan for the unit and the whole math packet. So if your son or daughter is missing their whole packet, you can actually click on it and print out our homework and rememberings for the whole unit. We also have our personalized learning plan, and the kids will fill these out at the beginning of each unit, and they fill them out based on their pre-test that I'll show you in a few minutes. So if a child gets all of the lessons or all of the questions on the pre-test that cover a specific standard correct, they will not need to complete that lesson. If they miss even one question of the standard, they will need to complete the lesson. So the kids will check off the lessons that they need to complete. We're doing the same thing on our end. So the two of them align, showing what lessons that they need to complete as they're moving through the unit. If I go ahead and jump back, we will also post the deadlines for the different things. This is a recommended pace that we would like students to be at. So when you see it posted, your son or daughter might say, oh, actually, I did that a couple of days ago. That would be very, very common to happen. These are the days that we want everyone to make sure that they have that lesson completed by that specific date. But students can move ahead of us as much as they want as they're moving through the unit of study. If I return to the quadrilaterals folder, you'll see the pretest. Students must complete the pretest at school. They may not be completed at home. And again, the pretest gives them feedback about which targets or standards they understand and which ones they need to work on. We do not expect kids to do well on the pretest. Most of our scores are in the 20 to 30%, but it does allow us to see what things kids already know and what they need to work on. Again, once we fill out that learning plan, then students complete the lessons based on what their learning plan says they need to do. So for example, if students needed to complete the lesson for 2.1, congruence, similarity, and symmetry, they would see the learning targets in the front of the folder. They'd be able to click inside of it, and inside there's a bunch of different resources that the kids can use at school, but they can also use at home to help them learn the skill. The first thing you'll see is our homework and remembering sheets. This is a single-sided or two-sided sheet that if your child would forget their homework and remembering at school, you would be able to print off, or if they were sick, you would be able to print off at home for them to complete. We usually complete the homework side in class in small group. So usually this side will be completed and checked by a teacher while we're going through it. The remembering side is the review side. And students are asked to do either evens or odds. If you look at the second part of the number, for example, 2-1, since it's an odd number, they would do the odd problems on this page. If it was 2-2, it'd be an even number, then they would do the even numbers on this page. So they do not need to complete them all, either odd or even on this page. On the homework page, we do ask the kids to complete them all unless we cross them off when we're at our small group table. So that's the first resource. The second resource, always the very first link, is a video of one of the fourth grade teachers teaching the lesson. So if your son or daughter is gone or sick, or they come home and they're very confused about a lesson, you can click on this link and watch a video of us teaching the exact lesson that we taught in our small groups that day. Then underneath it, you'll see a bunch of activities, and they're labeled activities. The kids can choose any activities they'd like to practice the skill. So if they're struggling, we might say, okay, why don't you go try this activity? Or if they need to go back, when we talk about quick quizzes in a few minutes, we expect our kids to get 100%. If they don't get 100% on one of our quick quizzes, they are asked to come back and do an activity, and they can choose any of the activities that might interest them. We have all sorts of activities. We have online games, we have videos, we have places to take notes, we have worksheets they can practice. So if your son or daughter is struggling with any of the lessons, this is a great place to get videos and resources to help practice that specific skill. And then at the bottom, we have where we can submit a screenshot of the work that we have completed. Your son or daughter is asked to submit a screenshot every day once their lesson is finished. If they did not finish the lesson, when they go into the screenshot section, they will not be able to see any of the other posts. Once they do post their screenshot, all of the other posts will show up. Checking in on these screenshots is a great way to see if your son or daughter completed the work that they were working on in class. If for some reason it's not completed or they're sick, they can always submit it the next day. We, on our end, do track, however, what is turned in and when, and we're reminding kids throughout the week to turn in any assignments that they have not finished. Once we've completed our folders, you'll notice that we have quick quizzes. These quick quizzes are a way for us to double check understanding of all of the lessons that were covered. Even if a student gets to skip because of the pretest, if they pass through 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3, they still have to take the quick quiz. Everyone gets to take the quick quiz. It's our second way of checking to confirm that, yes, they truly understand this skill, and they have to master it at 100%. If a student doesn't master it, then they'll go back. It'll give them, if they get a question wrong, it'll say, for example, you need to review lesson 2.2. In that case, the kid would go back, click on lesson 2.2, and find an activity to practice that skill or watch a video to help them understand it, and then they'd be able to retake the quick quiz. Students can retake the quick quiz up to 3 times, but they have to submit an activity before they do that for each one. If a student does not pass the quick quiz at 100% after 3 attempts, then we sit down with them one-on-one or in a very small group and go through and discuss and practice the different skills in that quiz, and then we have them take the quick quiz again. Again, our goal is 100% mastery. Then once that happens, students will be able to get to the next unit. These are all set with completion rules, meaning that they will not be able to go on to the next lesson until they get that 100%, and then the next folder will open up. So they'll go ahead and record those until they get to the very end, and then they'll take the final test for the unit. So that kind of gives you an overview of how our units are laid out in Schoology.